This YouTube ad is printing cash in the applications and software space. It combines the best elements of beautiful storytelling, picture-perfect storyboarding, and direct response marketing. It's by Opal, which is a digital control application designed to take control of the phone and significantly improve screen time. And today I'm going to completely break it down for you so that you can learn why it works so well in this ad breakdown video. Now it's a short, super fast-paced video. So first of all, I'm just going to play the whole video and then we're going to break it down step by step. So let's go.
This is not an iPhone. This is a $3 trillion military-grade lethal weapon aimed straight at your brainstem. If you're watching this, it's because your most primal needs and impulses are being weaponized by to get you to give up all your precious minutes and hours down to the last second. This is done with an invisible asymmetry of power. Tristan is the foremost expert on this, and you should watch his whole testimony in front of Congress, but the bottom line is this. You are being fucking harvested, and no one is coming to save you. But all hope is not lost. Hear me out. We all have 24 hours in today, and we all have commitments and human needs, so the time that we're left with is the most valuable. With this, we can steer the course of our life or create new memories. But how much of yourself do you feed to the beast against your will? You could take full control of your life at any moment, but you have to fight for it. Now get the fuck off of Instagram.
All right, so let's break it down. So first it starts with the hook. Now, just to give you a little bit of context, if you're super new to this, video ads follow a sequence of hook, body, and call to action. And each of these steps have their own nuances, but the hook is probably the most important element of your ad because this is what makes or breaks your funnel. So what this video starts with is a controversial statement. It says, "This is not an iPhone." And you can clearly see it is. So they basically forced curiosity in you by the controversial statement. So you want to hear what it is that they think the iPhone is if it's not an iPhone, right? So, and then very smoothly, they transition it to being a $3 trillion military-grade weapon, explaining the controversial statement. So this is basically what they think it is. And the best part is that almost everybody knows, at least most of the people know, that Apple is worth $3 trillion. And this number fits into the story super well because we tend to remember odd numbers much more often. Now, also pay attention to how well the graphics and the video follows the storyline straight from the beginning. If you pay attention to the storyline, the iPhone is broken down into its layout, then the layout transition to the tank layout, and then it becomes real, like super, super clean transition. And then you can follow the voiceover of saying that it's not an iPhone, but a military-grade weapon. And then the kind of like the graphics follow that, it's like a super clean transition. So the hook is about 7 seconds. So this is super, super important because I've heard this so many times that gurus and copywriting gurus say this, that, oh, your hook should be like X long. No, there's no hard data on how long your hook should be. There's no one-size-fits-all solution. So you can keep them as long as you want because the purpose of the hook is to get people interested in watching and hooked, as well as get them interested in what's about to happen next rather than trying to follow a template. So cutting yourself short just for the sake of following any kind of template is just nothing but harmful. Now, what you hear at the end of the hook is that he calls you out. He calls out the people that are watching and he tells them and gives them a reason why they're watching this video. This is super, super well put together because you are aware that you're watching this video and you're also given a reason why you're watching this video. So this way, the story and the reasoning is relatable, causing you to watch further. So let's watch further.
If you're watching this, it's because your most primal needs and impulses are being weaponized by to get you to give up all your precious minutes and hours down to the last second. This is done with an invisible asymmetry of power. Tristan is the foremost expert on this, and you should watch his whole testimony in front of Congress, but the bottom line is this. You are being fucking harvested, and no one is coming to save you.
Now, this is where it gets super interesting. The reason that he mentions why you're watching this video is because that your primary impulses are being weaponized by these XYZ platforms. And again, it's just so well put together because right at this very moment, even if you haven't realized yet, now for sure you will, that you're being sucked by these social platforms and that you're wasting your precious hours and time on scrolling through nonsense content. And by the way, ironically, it's just so true. Like, try to remember the last story or like short that you saw on Instagram. I bet you cannot remember what it was at all. And by realizing this, as the watcher, the viewer of the ad, you're also realizing that what this guy says is true. And you're going to trust the video from now on while also being curious to see what else does he has to say. So this is a really nice build-up from him to kind of develop that subconscious trust in you and the watcher. So at this point, you who watches this ad is hooked for good because you've been made to realize a true pain point you're experiencing from firsthand right at this very moment. So it's super, super powerful. And again, pay attention to how well the video follows the voiceover and the story. When he says impulses, the brain is presented. Then it jumps to the blurred logos and then the big beep, not mentioning the companies. Now, there's a law that you cannot degrade or compare other companies and brands directly with one another. So this part had to be blurred and beeped. But again, this is just also contributes to raising tension and curiosity in you as the watcher. Now, after giving you the problem and having you realize it as well, it also explains how you are being sucked by these platforms, which is the invisible asymmetry of power. Now, just out of logic, the next question you as the viewer would have is what the fuck is asymmetry of power, right? Now, it's probably a long story, so it wouldn't fit as much into this fast-paced video, and it would kind of ruin the video by taking up too much emphasis on it. So all the voiceover says, which is really cool, is where you can find more information on it. And then he just smoothly transitions to the main point, which is that you're being fucking harvested by these social platforms. And at this point, I feel like that they've put so much weight on this problem and made it so dramatic that they've nicely built up this next transition to introducing the solution. So let's watch what happens next.
But all hope is not lost. Hear me out. We all have 24 hours in today, and we all have commitments and human needs, so the time that we're left with is the most valuable. With this, we can steer the course of our life or create new memories. But how much of yourself do you feed to the beast against your will? You could take full control of your life at any moment, but you have to fight for it. Now get the fuck off of Instagram.
All right, so I don't know if you realize, but they choose simplicity throughout the whole video. Like, it's one time to make a good story, but it has to be understandable enough for the viewer. Otherwise, you're going to lose interest in watching further. So when you're making YouTube ads or like any kind of other video ad, make sure that the language is understandable. It's almost so rude to say, but it's like you're talking to fourth graders. Like, you want to decrease the complexity of the story. You want to decrease the toughness of the vocabulary because it needs to be understandable enough. It needs to be stupid enough, let's say, for the viewer that the emotions and the pain points actually go through. Because if he has to think about what you mean behind your words, then he's not going to get the message. So it's super, super important to make your scripts understandable and simple enough. Now, if you want to get a feel to how to most efficiently script your video ads, check out this video right here. So going back to the simplicity, here they use the simplest explanation using coins and distributing them to your indispensable needs while further explaining the solution, which is what you can do with all the time left after your necessities. And for the cherry on top, the guy twists the knife a little bit more, which I really like, by asking how much more time are you going to waste to feed the beast, aka these social platforms. Super, super important step. You always want to circle back with a reminder or twist the knife a bit more in the pain points so that for sure the message goes through. Also, something that I think it's super, super cool is that the music and the background track is timed super perfectly. Like, at the end of this question, it's just the bass beat going with no voiceover. And again, raising the tension and also letting you think about what he just said and, you know, just to let that more sink in. And then boom, the drums and the bass come back and they smash the glass. And then really just finishing off the story by saying, hey, you can take full control with your life at any moment, but you have to fight for it. And then basically their first call to action appears throughout the whole video at the end, which is get the fuck off Instagram. Now notice funnily how they never refer to that they have the solution to this problem. Like, there was not even one sentence where they would say, oh, here's your problem, here's the solution, and by the way, we have the solution, right? Because there's just no need. It's just so trivial that you wouldn't even consider to go elsewhere to look for the solution. Now, just sound the key end notes and takeaways from here. I love how much time and effort has been put into this ad, and that even the tiniest cuts and video parts all follow the story perfectly. And all the way from choosing the soundtracks, the sound effects, the background track, it's been really, really carefully put together to not only make you interested in the first couple of seconds, but to also retain your attention. And ironically, that's the problem that the ad proposes is the problem with the other social platforms taking too much of your attention. And just based off of this, you're subconsciously trusting this ad because they're doing the same thing to you, retaining your attention. And this is exactly why there's no need for them to even mention any kind of salesy line of being able to deal with this problem or solution, or you know that you should sign up or whatever. Now, the key takeaways. What are the key takeaways? The hook is the most important element of your video as it makes or breaks your entire funnel and website. I'm repeating myself, but it's super, super important. If you look back on this ad, it was super attention grabbing, nice visuals, nice storyboarding, voiceover, soundtracks, etc., etc. So it's all in all made you interested in what's about to happen next. Now the body made sure that you develop a sort of connection and trust towards the narrator and the app. And this is super, super important because customers only make buying decisions in a comfortable state. And by being unsure or untrustful towards a product or service like this, they're never going to buy. So they have to be transitioned from a skeptical state of mind to a comfortable state of mind where they can build trust with the product and service so they can actually pull the trigger and make the purchase. Now, the ultimate question is, if you want to run YouTube ads or any kind of video ad, do you need to make it super rich with graphics, voiceovers, soundtrack, storyboards, and whatnot? No, absolutely no. In fact, funny enough, some of the best performing video ads that we scripted, produced, and ran as ads for our clients were shot on iPhone and were super simple. So don't worry, you don't need to make videos like this to dominate with YouTube ads, but this is just a super great example to show you how much more powerful YouTube and video ads in general are compared to other traffic channels. So I want you to take all these information and learn from it. Check out my other videos on the channel. Also hit that like and subscribe button for new videos every week. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.